Assalamualaikum everyone. In continuation with our series, Because We Can, we have a very inspiring story here with us. Wardah Moazzum is part of the medical profession. As we have heard earlier, 77% of females drop out of this profession according to the Medical Council of Pakistan. So what are the problems they face? How do they overcome biases? How do they overcome barriers and become empowered themselves and empower those around them? So Wardah, could you please tell us a bit about yourself?
Assalamualaikum. I'm Wardah Moazzum. I am a mother of a 5-year-old girl, and I'm also a doctor who's currently a trainee in ophthalmology, which actually deals with eye surgery.
I've just mentioned the statistics to you. So how do you feel you came out of your comfort zone?
I feel whenever you want to achieve something, you need to come out of your comfort zone. So over time, when you were a student, when you did not have that many responsibilities, आपको कोई ज़्यादा comfort zone से आना नहीं होता. But when you step into the real world, which is actually a profession, when you have to pursue a profession, then you have to come out of that world that you had.
What kind of barriers did you undergo? Like, did you feel that you faced any cultural barriers, prejudice, personal, professional? How have you accelerated into this profession?
I feel the norms of our society are actually the barriers that we have. And we can't help it. You will find those barriers everywhere in one way or another. So in order to achieve something, in order to progress in life, you have to do something in order to get over those barriers. आप एक चीज़ को point नहीं कर सकते, but वो वाली चीज़ जो है वहाँ पे उसको आपने किसी तरह overcome करना है. So yes, there were barriers. I had a kid at home. I had to appear for my exams, which are pretty tough. It's very difficult to clear those exams, especially when you have a family of your own. So taking out time and then facing failures and then how to overcome those failures, that was very difficult. Plus, when you're in a medical field, we know that the working hours are very tough and we have to somehow make it work.
So tell me something, is it true what I mentioned earlier about the statistics? Did you feel that आपके colleagues जो थे, they were not able to continue, some of them?
Yes, that is true. That is sadly true. And मेरे batchmates थे who couldn't. And अभी भी हैं. I know people who really want to, but there are problems and there are barriers that because of which they could not continue.
What kind of barriers are there?
Basically, medical field itself is very, very challenging, and it is not just a profession. This is a lifestyle. So, like I said, working hours are very tough. So, and then usually girls get married and they have families of their own, and it's very difficult to compromise, and it's very difficult to balance work and family life.
So you're one of the 33% lucky ones who have. Was it a good support system that you had, or आपकी अपनी self determination थी जिस वजह से आप continue कर सके?
I had a really good support system. Shukr alhamdulillah. My spouse has been very, very supportive. He is a doctor himself, so I guess he understands the requirements. And also my parents and my in-laws, everybody has been really supportive. So I've been lucky in that sense. But also I had this thing in my mind that I was never gonna stop. I had this thing in my mind that I will always continue practicing one way or another. So this was something that was actually I actually told my spouse that before I even got married. My in-laws knew about it, so they were always very supportive about it.
So Wardah, what does empowerment mean to you, and how would you empower other women in your profession?
Empowerment actually to me means that you need to be happy in what you're doing, and you need to have goals set for yourself that you can achieve, and you become happy with that. It's not important कि आप वो चीज़ सोचें जो आप नहीं कर सकते, बेसिकली आपने वो सोचना है, वो गोल रखना है जो आप कर सकते हैं, and you work towards it and you become happy.
How do you feel as you will progress in your career and you will become in a more decision making role, and how would you empower other females around you?
My personal advice to girls would be, especially young girls, that at high school level, or when they are young and when they are making their decisions, they need to have a very informed decision. We think that if you're very good and if you're very studious, there are very selected fields that we can get into, but it's not like that. We need to make very smart decisions for ourselves. There's a lot that is happening in the world. Even if you become a doctor, there's a lot that you can do. You can serve humanity in many different ways. So just getting the degree is not the end of the world. If you're not able to practice, that is not the end of the world. If you're becoming a doctor, it's not just a 5-year course that you have to do. 5 years में आपको degree मिल गई, नहीं. 5 years के बाद there is a lot more training. उसके बाद it's a lifestyle that you have to adopt. So smart decisions लें, smart choices लें. कौन सा career आपके लिए ठीक होगा? Career आपने choose कर लिया है, तो फिर आगे इस तरह लेके उसको चलना है कि कोई चीज़ compromise ना हो. Like we cannot compromise our families. I have a daughter. I cannot compromise on her education or her upbringing. So I need to decide कि मैंने कौन सी field लेनी है, किस तरह manage करना है. मेरा पीछे का support system कैसा है जो उसको देखेगा. In today's world, we need to be aware कि where our kids are, at what time, what they're doing, who they're talking to. So we cannot compromise on that either. It takes a lot. Every day is difficult and every day is different. So it takes a lot of strength and courage, but you can do it. Everyone can do it. If we set our mind to it, we can do it.
Okay, so Wardah, we've heard so much of great information from you. I think it's going to be really inspiring to those who want to continue in this profession. What I'd really like to know from you is, how did you break the bias?
I think I was very stubborn. And there are times when you need to be stubborn and you need to have that passion that, no, I have to and I can and I will. So you get one life, you need to give it your 100%. And there were lots of failures. There were things that there were times when I was like, no, that is it. But the next day you wake up and you're like, okay, let's go for it again. Yeah.
So we hope you've really enjoyed this very inspiring conversation. हम चाह रहे हैं कि ज़्यादा औरतें मेडिकल प्रोफेशन में आएँ. पाकिस्तान हैज़ 50% population that is female and very talented females also. तो इतना जब मेहनत हम करते हैं डिग्री लेने में, I'm sure as Wardah has explained, there's determination, there's a good support system. Surround yourself with people जो आपको भी support करें और positive रहें, and live a fulfilling life.